What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Community Kitchen, where we're cooking up the latest and greatest gaming news headlines, and who better to join me today than Aiden? Why don't you say what's up?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game Sandwich, where we have officially gone down into a burning ring of fire.
That's a good song, Ring of Fire. But before we get into all of that, we'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that are liking these videos, subscribing to Game Sandwich, and if you're new here, do all of that and join our community Discord. Links to that is down there in the video description. Now, this whole Redsec thing for Battlefield 6, the Battle Royale mode that was just introduced to the game, no pun intended, is hot off the press. It is out now, free to play. A lot of people are getting their hands on it, and we're going to dive into community opinions, our takes on the game, and all that. But up front, Aiden, I wanted to ask you, upon hearing the rumors, because this wasn't a previously just hey, this thing is coming to the game. Whenever you heard those rumors of Battle Royale, Battlefield 6, do you think this was needed right now? Do you think this is the smart move for Battlefield?
I mean, I don't think a battle royale is really ever needed, to be fair. I mean, for instance, one of my favorite ones, and really the only one that I enjoyed was the one that they did for Fallout 76. That one was fun to me. I thought it was a little bit unique, especially just because it was on the Fallout 76 map and everything. But that one itself, I actually enjoyed. And even that one, I was like, no, I'm good. We don't need it. I like it. It's fun to play, but it's just like another, here you go, another battle royale to throw on the mountain of battle royales that exist. The battle royale genre, to me, has been completely played out at this point. Unless somebody does something drastically unique, none of them are ever going to stand out. None of them are going to really be that amazing. And from what it sounds like, Battlefield 6 does not have a battle royale that stands out in the slightest. It sounds like it is just another one on that pile that nobody's going to care about here in a month.
This is so funny for Battlefield specifically, where it's 7 or 8 years ago by now, I believe. We got Firestorm, which was a Battle Royale mode, and that fell flat on its face. And I do believe at that point in time, we were still kind of trying to figure out what that genre could be, because all we had was Fortnite. I don't think we had Warzone at that time, because every time I think about Warzone, I think it's old, but it's kind of brand new-ish. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever. But looking back at Firestorm, you're like, okay, that's the last taste we had of a Battlefield Battle Royale experience. And now hearing Redsec is out, and then hearing the reviews about it, again, me personally, I don't think it was needed because, like you said, this market is saturated, and if you're ever going to survive in the space and be something of value, of note, of something that is consistently going to show up in the top things, you need to be different. This isn't a thing where it's like, Warzone's doing that, so we got to do it, which makes us popular. That translation is never going to work. And again, it's just okay, it's here, Redsec. But I also want to say, as a point of conversation, I do think it's a smart move for Battlefield to do, especially for all of the Call of Duty players they're pulling from Warzone, from their mainline multiplayer, specifically because if they could offer up that same Warzone experience, and it's in Battlefield, which is a game they're already enjoying, it's kind of like, I feel comfortable here already. This mission structure and everything, it feels comfortable, so why would I ever go back, especially if I love Battlefield right now? Just devil's
No,
advocate
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. It should, if it's pull Call of Duty players, which, by the way, just to speak on the numbers real quick, Call of Duty yesterday, I checked out the numbers for the player count on Steam. It is 50,000 or something is what they had in the last 24 hours. And then Battlefield 6 had 400,000 or something. It was some crazy number in the last 24 hours, and I was like, oh, okay, that's crazy. And it really just shows like how much more like Battlefield is pulling from Call of Duty. And like you said, if they can offer the same experience in the Battle Royale, then all that does is just help them maintain the player count that they've like stolen. Oh, it was about 200,000. That's what it was. I thought I was overshooting it. I had to double check.
Still, big number though. And this whole
But
it just
oh no, go ahead.
to that point, it sucks to say like, oh, they got away technically with murder because it's like we just said at the top of the episode, oh, like if you want to last in this space, you got to be different, you got to be creative. But at the same time, whenever you talk about, again, it's the classic Battlefield versus Call of Duty. You're trying to fight for that same player base and that same style of game. For Battlefield's case, again, just their case, their tiny case alone, they can technically get away with, like, hey, this is Warzone, but us. And then you add in the destructibility of Battlefield. You add in whatever they're trying to do here that's this much different. Maybe it's worthwhile. I don't know. It's such a weird case.
Yeah, I mean, I just like Battlefield is just doing a lot better than Call of Duty right now. And I think that it's like I don't know, I can see them still pulling ahead in the future, especially with Battlefield 7 coming out because like a lot of people are not excited for Battlefield or not Battlefield 7, Black Ops 7.
Yeah.
Like yeah, a lot of people just aren't excited for it in general. And like I don't know. I look at the crowd for Black Ops 7 and I'm thinking nobody's going to really be wanting this. Yes, it's going to be new. It's going to be like fun and it's going to be like, "Oh my God, it's the next big thing." But as soon as it gets to be a month old, that's when we're going to see, oh, are people going to flock back towards Battlefield or are they going to stay at Black Ops? Which one's going to happen? And I don't know, just at least for the Battle Royale mode, I don't think it's good enough now from what people are saying that it's going to maintain the lead and it's going to keep people away from Warzone or it's going to keep people away from Black Ops. I don't think that. I think they're going to have to do some major changes. But I mostly think that they're going to have to do major changes to like the multiplayer itself instead of the Battle Royale. But both of them could really use it.
You know, from what I've seen and like what I've played and understood, you know, you got the kill streaks, you got the movement speed of Battlefield, which, you know, it's certainly a thing. Like, if you like that, go for it. Classic, like, it's on a timer, the ring shrinks, and, you know, it's more of a thing where it's like, the conversation I think that's worth having is not going to be taking place right now, like day 2 of Redsec. I think come the holidays, come January, potentially into February, if Battlefield is still kicking at this rate and still doing these numbers, especially post Black Ops 7, that is when you can have the serious conversation of, okay, like, we have a new, like, strong competitor. Because we even look at, I know people play it still, but like Apex Legends and how great that was up front. And like now, what do we hear from that game? Like, Rocket League is always Rocket League because it's different. But again, it's these things where Battlefield is so prominent in gaming right now. It's what a lot of people are talking about. Is it going to have that mainstaying power? Because that's what it needs to take down Call of Duty. And I don't know if it's going to do it. Just based off this stuff, I'm going to say it's going to maybe falter out a little bit and kind of just lurk. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I agree with you there. I think that it's going to end up just like falling short a little bit here in the long run. I don't think it's going to completely fail. I don't think a month from now or 2 months from now we're going to be like, oh man, Battlefield 6 is like a complete failure. There's nobody playing it anymore. But I feel more or less like the crowd that's playing that and also playing Black Ops 6 right now, I think more or less they're going to be like split evenly almost, just because like there are going to be those people who want the more realistic shooter, which is going to be Battlefield. Then there's going to be the people who want the more like cartoony, like hero shooter kind of thing, which is Call of Duty or arcade shooter, I should say. And so, like, I think it will be split down the middle, but I do think that the main downfall of it right now is going to end up being like Redsec is going to probably get people to be like disinterested in Battlefield a little bit, depending on what they do for the rest of this season.
Mm-hmm.
People will be, it might just be like more disinterest and everything. If they don't get like, if they don't listen to the community, I really think
Yes.
is what's going to end up causing them to like falter. And like it especially shows with like, so Redsec is this massive map, tons of POIs and everything. And people are now just saying, why the hell didn't we get this in the main game? Why
Yeah.
is this not part of the multiplayer? Why couldn't this map just be in multiplayer too? And so people are asking right now, like, hey, can you take this specifically, like this map, and just put it in the multiplayer as well? So that way we have a massive multiplayer map to play on as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, if DICE, EA, or whatever listen and they take the map and they put it into multiplayer and they maybe segment it off or something to make different Warzone like not Warzone, blah, to make different multiplayer maps, or if they just leave it as it is and like have just a massive map that people can explore with maybe more players and 64 on it, there you go. I think that will give them partially of a boost that they need. And especially if they go above and beyond and they make even more maps that are the same size that they can just then again segment down to be like larger multiplayer maps.
I'm right there with you on what will give this game the juice and the legs to go well beyond its expiration date is if EA listens to the community, listens to the feedback, and not only listens but does something about it. How often, like we're going to be talking about Halo tomorrow, where it's like how Infinite upfront, like fun game, but the community had a lot of gripes with it up front, and 343 is about to say Bungie, Halo Studios now. They didn't listen, or the updates came a little later and they lost a lot of that spark, and it took them forever and a day to gain it back, or at least get some semblance of that. And for Battlefield right now, there is a fever pitch for that game. Like, undeniably, people want Battlefield. People love Battlefield now. And again, it's always the community that drives these games, like live service games, whether you like it or not. Their success on is measured on a scale of how many players are playing at this current time and how many players are invested, how many are buying the battle passes, the this, the that. And again, community feedback, implementing those changes, constant updates. I mean, hell, like look at Fortnite and how Epic Games suddenly turned into this machine that is solely dedicated to undertaking that game and making it what it is now. That shows you the sheer amount of work, time, effort, resources that need to go into a game like this. And now it's up to DICE and Battlefield to figure that out for this game.
It is up to them, and I don't know, from what I'm seeing at least on here, like I do want to call out like some Reddit posts that I've seen where people specifically have like said that they don't like what it's becoming. It feels more like they're trying to like make it more of like a Battlefield versus Call of Duty experience where like, oh yeah, it has to be the same but like slightly different. They can't like try to do their own thing more or less. Like there's other people who are saying like, oh, it feels like they've been bait and switched because it feels like this basically is going to turn into, oh, it's a battle royale mode, like battle royale game, but with multiplayer attached to it, kind of deal, because all their focus is going to be on the battle royale now. And then there's also the people who are complaining about not getting that, like not getting the map in multiplayer and everything. And there's also still people mentioning that they should be doing like naval combat again.
Ooh.
And so like there's obviously people who are very annoying, people who want their voices listened to. And I think it's important for EA to like actually step up, listen to them, and change the game for the better. Like you said, like with how Fortnite has been changed like time and time again to keep it on the rise. They can do that with Battlefield 6. It's just like they have to listen to the community though to really know what the community wants and the best way to move it forward. And also like to speak on like the battle pass thing that you mentioned as well with so people are complaining too about the battle pass in Battlefield. The new one is $25.
Yeah.
And that's for if you want the battle pass and you want the battle pass pro and everything, it's $25. And people are just like, that is ridiculous, especially since you bought the game for $70, and a lot of battle passes are like 10 or $15. So feels a little money grabby there, especially like, but at least for people who have the time to dedicate in the game, you can get enough coins or whatever to buy the next battle pass for free and keep doing it that way, essentially, it seems like. But if you don't have enough time for it, you're basically getting screwed having to pay $25 every time.
As someone who played Fortnite and still kind of dives in every now and then, I'm in the camp where if I play it enough and I get the V-Bucks through the free battle pass to pay for the season pass and like no money out of pocket, I'll do it, because there are spells where I am just so obsessed with Fortnite, I grind it that much to get that and then get the premium battle pass free of charge, no questions asked. I want to ask you, if, like, again, tinfoil hat theory here, and I'm not calling out people's criticisms and like belittling them, but how much of the negative backlash you think is due to players who came from Call of Duty and Warzone, who were scorned there, who were upset with the product, and came to Battlefield in search of that stark contrast and like we're the good guys in this fight, we're not gonna be a Call of Duty. How many of those people are like the scorned lovers and like coming to Battlefield going, I expected more of you, I expected so much? Like, do you think it's that? Do you think it's again, I'm not.
I think that there's some people who are doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if there definitely were some people saying like, "Oh yeah, this isn't Call of Duty, so now I'm gonna be mad about it." Like, Battlefield isn't supposed to be Call of Duty. It's supposed to be more realistic than Call of Duty. It is not supposed to be an arcade shooter like Call of Duty. But anyway, like, I'm sure that there are some people who are coming over from Call of Duty who are like, "Oh man, this isn't what I'm used to. I'm gonna be mad about it." Rage, comment, blah blah blah.
That's
Like,
the
or like
internet,
rage
yeah.
review. And like, because there are going to be people doing that, but I think the mass majority of it's not that. I don't think that there is that. I think that personally, Battlefield's just trying too hard to compete with Call of Duty right now. I think Call of Duty is trying too hard to compete with Battlefield right now, and like, and it shows too with Battlefield, like, or not Battlefield, Call of Duty, because they're doing like free weekends and stuff that like coincide with like major things happening in Battlefield to like try and like
Whoa.
bring players over, like, oh, season one launches. Hey, guess what? They're doing a free trial for Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
Like, everything that Call of like that Black Ops is doing right now is just like basically to try and get as many people as they can back from Battlefield, which is funny to me. But there should be a stark difference between the two games. It shouldn't be, oh, they're basically the same. Like, Battlefield should be for the people who want more of that realistic feel to their game. Call of Duty should be for the people who want the arcade shooter, because that's the direction they've gone.
Exactly. And in like to kind of put a cap on the conversation, I think if you're going into Battlefield and more specifically Redsec looking for a definitive like new branch of the battle royale genre, I don't think you're going to find it there, specifically because this is an FPS game. This is very much a Call of Duty like adjacent thing where it's like first person shooter, Warzone, stuff like that. One for one, this is almost the same thing. It's like two different apples. You got the golden delicious and then you got the green apples over here. Two different things, but they're kind of the same thing at the end of the day. That is what I think you're getting with Battlefield. And if you're going into that looking for the new thing, I'm sorry, you're not going to get that there. But that's also like the smart move for Battlefield. This is the, like, if I had to put a title on it, it's like Battlefield Play It Safe Edition, where it's like Battlefield was in such a bad place where it's like they needed to do the thing to just get the baseline in, like do the thing to get the good grace of the community. Clearly, they're doing it with multiplayer, and again with Redsec, as I almost said Warzone, they need to listen. They need to do the things that change, constantly update, and right now, I think this is more of a conversation worth having 4 or 5 months from now, where it's like, okay, like we're coming up on GTA 6. We're coming up on the next big Nintendo game or whatever. Like, these are the things that we got to compare it to now, especially if we want to say certifiably this is a Call of Duty competitor. Because I look at Apex, I look at Battlefield its first time around, I look at Fallout 76 Battle Royale. Look where they're all at. You know, like that's the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, and just to also put a cap on things from my side, just to let everybody know where everything is standing currently before we talk about this again in the future, which I'm sure that we will.
Oh, yeah.
Before we talk about it in the future, just to put a cap on like what is exactly like where the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale is standing right now. The reviews have 1,400 reviews so far, 1,432 to be exact, which are mostly negative. And what people are saying about it right here is huge negative stuff is no solo queue, no disable autofill options. You can't just basically you can't do solo in general. You have to either play like duos or you have to play with a squad. And if you're playing against people who are like already a well-built squad, then you're basically screwed. And if you want to do solo, then you have to do like objectives and stuff, which people aren't enjoying and everything. And they just don't like the challenges stuff. Let's see, what else are they saying? They are saying that it is just a trash battle royale game. It is they don't want to do challenges. It's been EA'd where feels like you have to like pay money for everything now. And people are complaining about the big map with the POIs and flanks, and if they can only get that in the main game and everything. So there you go. That's the criticisms people are giving of Redsec right now.
Yeah.
And one of the other major criticisms is that it's like really slow compared to every other battle royale. Which I mean, I don't know. In a more realistic shooter, I don't think being slow is necessarily as bad.
Exactly.
So that one I'm just going to like kind of like brush away a little bit. Not to say that's not important to some people,
No.
but I think, Call of Duty is arcadey. It can be faster. Battlefield 6, that one is supposed to be more realistic. It can afford to be a little bit slower when it comes to the Battle Royale. But anyway, so that's what people are saying about it. So we'll see here in like 5 months or whatever, like you said, what people are saying about it. And we'll see if it changes. Maybe, who knows? Maybe 5 months from now, 6 months from now, it will be mostly positive reviews.
And for the quick, like, short term, too, let's not forget they're releasing that on a Tuesday, and then they're also releasing that the week of Halloween. They're releasing it during the time where people are probably going out on Friday night, maybe into the weekend. So maybe as, like, next Monday, go check the reviews, see where that stands, because I feel like more people will jump in over the weekend, potentially, versus during the week. Again, release timing kind of matters in a world like that. So, we're going to pass it off to you guys. Like, what do you think about Redsec if you got your hands on it? Do you think this lasts? Because, hey, we could always use more competitors, more variety in the space, and of substance, I want to add. But that about does it here for this episode of Community Kitchen. We hope you guys enjoyed. I have been Kalo, joined by Aiden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.